Hi everyone, welcome to the Handy Philosopher and the last recording that we'll have for Nietzsche. Why I left such a tiny little part to its own recording, I'm not exactly sure. I'm not sure what possessed me, but maybe I just wanted to drag out the joy that is reading Nietzsche and give us all one more chance to look at philosophy's greatest facial hair, in my opinion. So, section 284 here. So, this is actually towards the end of the book. And we see in this section Nietzsche, um, uh, do I dare say, becoming a little bit more sort of philosophical about things. And this is really almost like a guide, providing guidance for the way to live, like the mindset that we should have or our attitude. And in it also, Nietzsche identifies what he sees as the four virtues of, the person who embraces their will. Yeah, it's a really short reading. We'll initially see Nietzsche advocating just being really aware of ourselves, and that means being really aware of our strengths and our weaknesses. If you know your weaknesses, then others can't use them against you because you will have already anticipated that. And if you are also really aware of your weaknesses, you're really aware of what you need to work on, what you should be developing in yourself, what you should be overcoming. Um, as I said, Nietzsche then identifies the four virtues: courage, insight, sympathy, and solitude. And he talks about the role that solitude plays in, well, for our purposes, in a good life. Essentially stopping mankind, or stopping a individual from becoming what he says is like unclean or common. I'm sure that we can see it as uh, um, well, link it to what we've already heard about Nietzsche, and the idea of, being suppressed by the slave morality when we interact with other people. So here we go. Highlighters and pens at the ready. This one will be pretty quick. So, to live with a tremendous and proud self-possession, always beyond, to have and not have one's emotions, one's for and against at will, to condescend to have them for a few hours, to seat oneself on them as on horses, often as on asses. For one has to know how to employ their stupidity as well as their fire. So this is what I was talking about at the start with Nietzsche talking about being really aware of ourselves and our strengths and weaknesses, our fire as well as our stupidity. To keep one's 300 foregrounds, also one's dark glasses, for there are instances where no one may look into our eyes, still less into our grounds. Uh, and to choose for company that cheerful and roguish vice, politeness, and to remain master of one's four virtues: courage, insight, sympathy, solitude. Yeah, outlining what he sees as the virtues of someone trying to embrace their will. For solitude is with us a virtue. It is a sublime urge and inclination for cleanliness, which divines that all contact between man and man in society must inevitably be unclean. All community makes somehow, somewhere, sometime common. Now that last line, all community makes somehow, somewhere, sometime common, uh, can be interpreted lots of different ways. One of the big things to come out of it is the idea of, the slave morality advocating for what they see as correct at any given time or place that they exist. Okay, so the changing nature of morality, we might call it, the slave morality at least. Okay, so we get the virtues from there. We get an advocation for a life of solitude, and we get Nietzsche suggesting that we need to be very self-aware. We shouldn't lie to ourselves about either our strengths or our weaknesses. We must seat oneself on them as on horses. So, hope you've enjoyed Nietzsche. He always lights a fire in my belly. I hope he did the same for you. And I'll see you next time. Have a great day.